where we talk about true crime and missing cases. Stay tuned, the live stream will begin shortly.
Take on the night to reach the morning. Oh, oh, we'll write our names in blood and glory. Oh, 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 our hearts are unafraid of making our own fate, and we don't need to wait. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes, fighting our courage climbing. We'll never, never surrender. This is our battle. Won't stay in the shadows now. Living for tomorrow. We'll never, never surrender. Walking through fire will leave us stronger. Oh, oh, and we might grow tired, but not going under. No, no. Breaking all the chains. It's time to take our place. It's time to take our place. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes, fighting our courage climbing. We'll never, never surrender. This is our battle. Won't stay in the shadows now. Living for tomorrow. We'll never, never surrender. Breaking all the chains. It's time to take our place. Time to take our place. Oh, our hearts are unafraid of making our own fate, of making our own fate. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes, fighting our courage climbing. We'll never, never surrender. This is our battle. Won't stay in the shadows now. Living for tomorrow. We'll never, never surrender.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dutchess, and this is Dutchess Discussions, where we talk about true crime and missing cases. And I appreciate everyone joining me tonight. That was an old intro. My new intro that I tried to upload corrupted. Arctic Fox, you know how that is when you upload something and it doesn't go as planned. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight. We are going to talk about the Tyler Doyle article that was put out this week, as well as the video that was released by the Post and Courier that is local here in Georgetown, Myrtle Beach area. A lot of people have sent me messages and have responded in Tyler's group, and have sent the family messages, hey, we can't access this article because it's behind a subscriber paywall. I just want everyone to know that the family had nothing to do with that. That's not something that they asked to do. That was strictly a decision made by the Post and Courier, and that's how they do exclusive content. Is they put it behind a paywall. It just so happens that I subscribe to them, so I have that content, and I don't want you guys to not know what that article is about. I do believe the moderators in um, Tyler's group, where the family is and where I am, has shared this article. I had some people that were like, I think, wanting to screenshot and share the article so that everyone could be able to see it. And I just didn't want to see multiple uploads of that, put all throughout the group. So I think one of the admins over there did um, get that put out into the group. So if you want to go over there and also read that article, I haven't been over at the group. I've been working on getting this preparing for this live stream. So if you are in that group, it's likely over there where you can take a look at it. So thanks, guys, for being here. I'm just going to go over to the chat and say hey to my moderators and my members, and I appreciate you guys being here, and then we're going to get into it. So I'm just going to go back up here in chat. Christian Martin, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the team. And we got Megan the Savage. Thank you so much, Megan, for being here. We have a little thing that we do for our members whenever they join up. So let me jump over here and grab this really quick. Thank you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Who else do we have here? Hey, Maddie. I hope you're doing well. Glad to see you back. Hey, Rhonda Roy. Arctic Fox, so good to see you here. Arctic's been working hard today. I've been seeing all them videos he's been putting out while I've been working. Hey, Jessica. Thanks so much, Jessica, for being a member also. And Arctic, you too. Arctic has hit 10,000 subscribers, guys. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you. I noticed today while I was working on getting some of these uploads taken care of, that I hit over 4,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And I just wanted to thank you guys for making that possible, because that's more people that will get to see these cases that I talk about. And we can share out this information. And I just want to say how much I really appreciate you guys. It means so very much to me that I have your support in helping to get this information out on Tyler's case, as well as Amber Ray Johnston's case. The Amber Alerts that we put out, we have a lot of cases that we're going to be talking about, and that we have talked about in just the last week. Arctic Fox got a 5-year-old abducted in Oklahoma City. You put a video out. Suspect is wanted in a homicide investigation. Yeah, please drop the link for that Amber Alert, so that if people want to go over there and click on that and share that to their social media, Arctic, they can do that. And thank you for sharing the Post and Courier YouTube video. We are going to watch that video tonight also. Let's see. We have Dragon in the house. Hey, Dragons. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Rosie. Got your email. Thanks for reaching out. Hey, Amanda. Good to see you. Hey, Carrie. We would be happy to do that. If you could just reach out to us, you can either reach us on Facebook Messenger, you can send us the information, anything that you know about the case, and or you can reach us on email, or you can drop your email in the chat if you want to. And of course, the mods can also drop my email, which is Dutchess, the number 4, the missing at gmail.com. And we'll be happy to share that out, Carrie. Hey, Cat's Eye. So glad you could join us. Hi, Mackenzie. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Hey, Mary. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Nightbot. We got candy ready for you. Let's see. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for being here. Hey, Single Mama 4. I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you. Hey, Borrowed Angel. Did I just see you? Yes, I did. Hang on. I got to go over here in the chat here for just a second. Y'all have got all these devices happening. Y'all bear with me for 1 second. I got to go over here on my phone to go look at this chat. Okay, Borrowed Angel, can you type in the chat for me, darling? Let's see, who else do we have here? Amber Dawn, thank you so much for being here. We have Tanya O'Berry here. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Stephanie. Hi, Caleb. Caleb, look at that picture. What do you have going on here, sir? Shay is with her family. She's taking some much needed time, as we all have to take, because I know we all have real lives. We have things that we have going on. Hey, Bethany. Thank you so much for being here. You can't become a member? There should be like a little icon at the very bottom of the stream on the right, unless you have an iPhone. And mods, do you know how to drop the link that has the iPhone link? You just put the /. What is it, Michelle, that you have to put on the end of the iPhone link? I'm still getting down here on the chat to look at everybody. Hey, Tease. Hey, Chelsea. Thank you for being here. Gary, thank you for becoming a new member. Hey, MJ5, good to see you. And Mackenzie became a new member too. Thank you so much. I got to go over here and play y'all's song. Look, Carrie knows. Yeah, /join. I had a moment where I just went blank, y'all. But that's it. Yes, /join. That's weird how, the iPhone and the Android, you have to have these different links. So, hey, the real T, thank you for joining from North Carolina. Hey, Allison, good to see you back. Hey, Julian, good to see you again. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Tina, she's doing laundry. Story of my life. Okay, y'all. So, yes, and single mama 4, Joe Clyde Daniels, will be 11 years old tomorrow. And that is a case that I've covered on this channel also. And that is a heartbreaking case. And I will probably do something for him tomorrow. I wanted to tell you that when I seen that in chat, Single Mom 4. So, thank you, Carrie, for sending us that information. We will, as soon as I get off this live stream, I'll go over there and take a look at that, and we will definitely share that information out. So thank you for sending it. Hey, Jeannie, hope you're doing good. Hey, Pleasantly Planned, hope you're doing well. Okay, so we are going to talk about this article because I know a lot of people haven't had access to it. So first I want to do, hey, Cherie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Gotta go play my song. Maddie, I will certainly do it. I just saw your comment, and she may be watching. She may be watching. So, but I will let her know. Y'all are the sweetest, and I really appreciate y'all supporting this family. They just want to find answers, and I was really thankful that the Post and Courier did reach out to Shay to talk to the family, to ask them, what's been going on in this case. And since the Post and Courier drop of the video, WBTW News has reached out to me, as well as the Myrtle Beach Sun News, and Fitz News has also reached out to me to get in contact with the family because they would like to sit down and speak to the family also, which is great news. So the family deserves to have answers. And I don't want anyone in this family, no matter who they are, to be treated any type of way. Nobody should be going real life and doing crazy things. I know that everyone has their own opinions in this case. They have their own thoughts. There's a lot of people that are local in this chat that are probably watching and not chatting right now that may have their own opinions about things. And we're adults here, and we can agree to disagree about things, but we don't need to be going real life on people. Nobody needs to be reaching out to the family to be saying crazy things, or to anybody that was involved in this case. Nobody needs to be harassing anybody. So regardless of what we have our opinions on, what it takes is evidence to know what happened, if there's anything that is nefarious. I don't know that anything nefarious has happened because I don't have the evidence that says that. So I just want to make that very, very clear. We can look at all types of information on the internet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is an answer to what happened to Tyler. So when you're out there on the internet and in these Facebook groups and chatting and discussing this case, just try to be respectful to everyone in this case. That's all. Yeah, there are people harassing on Facebook. I know. And if it gets to be too much, listen, just log off. I have to take breaks. I can't be in the middle of it all the time. It's very stressful. When you're covering multiple cases about missing people, it can be very stressful. And it's very stressful on the family. And just because you don't hear from them or they're not speaking out about things, they're really going through a tough time, guys. This is very hard for them just to have this interview with the Post and Courier. It took a lot of physical, mental, and emotional strength for Shay to do this, because this interview didn't just happen in one day, guys. This was like a multiple day thing where they came to visit her. She is doing everything that she can, and she has a family of her own, you know, and she has kids. You know, everybody has things that they have to still continue to do in their life. They have to work, they have to pay bills. And that's why I just ask for everyone to be respected, you know, anyone that's involved in this case. Because this is very difficult to have to even understand half the things that I've seen on the internet. It makes me sad about a lot of things. So, with that being said, let me get back over here because I think I saw that somebody else became a member. Jeannie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Do you want me to play the song, or do you want me to go ahead and get to this article? Because I don't want to leave you out and not play your song. So I'm going to wait for you to say it in the chat. Because if you want your song now, I'm going to go ahead and play it. Thank you, Bard Angel. Because I do want to share that article with you, because it's so important. Because I kind of feel like that DNR's dropped the ball, and I think they just thought that it was going to just go away. And that didn't happen. Oh, you want me to play it? Okay, yay! All right, here we go. You know, y'all can't see me, but every time I play that, I'm secretly dancing behind my avatar. Just want y'all to know that. Yes, DNR has hurt this family. That is for certain. So we're going to hop over here. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to look at this article, and we're going to break it down and see what it says. Now, the first thing that I want to do before I do that is I want to make sure that I share my copyright infringement disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. So we are going to be breaking down this article. I'm going to go over here and share my screen with you. And give me just a second. Make sure this is on full screen. Okay, it is. Just wanted to check that before we get started. Make sure everything looks good. And while we're waiting, if you haven't already gone over and smashed that like button, leave some of your precious DNA on that like button. because that helps to get Tyler Doyle's name in the YouTube algorithm. And when we get his name trending, more people are going to see information about Tyler Doyle in their social media. And that's really important to keep Tyler's name out there. Okay, I'm just going over here on my YouTube channel. Y'all give me 1 second. I got to go over here and shut my door, and I'll be right back. Okay. So can everybody see this article on screen? How many of you guys have? Hey, Libby. I'm sorry I missed your live stream earlier. I was working on some stuff for this, and but thank you for talking about Kishan. I really appreciate you doing that, and I did go over there and watch it. So thank you. And hey, Lolly. Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Lolly. I have. Let me go over here to the chat. I got to fix something for you real quick before we get started. Hey, September Virgo. I'm glad to see you here. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Mind of Monsters. I'm glad to see you here too. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is the Post and Courier of Myrtle Beach. And this, like I said, was a subscriber exclusive. I did see some comments going around social media. They thought maybe the family had this put behind some type of exclusive paywall where people were going to have to pay to read this article. And of course, that's not true. This is just something the Post and Courier, chose to do. And I understand that. Most of the papers down here, you have to get a subscription to read it. So 6 months in, still no sign of boater Tyler Doyle. Family in a place where we can't move on. And this story is by Nicole Zieg and John Ramsey. And from what I understand, they are really two wonderful people. And I want to thank Nicole and John for coming out and interviewing Shay. And she looks so beautiful here holding that picture of Tyler. And it just makes me want to cry, because I know that this had to be really emotional for her. She told me she did lots of crying. And of course, the caption under this picture reads, Sha Boyd, Tyler Doyle's aunt, holds a photo of her nephew while wearing a number 38 strong t-shirt commemorating Doyle's race car number. Boyd and the rest of Doyle's family are looking for answers from state officials as to what happened to her nephew the night he disappeared, January the 26th, and why he was never found. Yeah, no one gets the paper delivered anymore, do they, Artie? We all have these digital subscriptions. So the story goes, and of course it's from Loris, because that's where the Doyle family is from. The rumors open wounds that haven't healed. This time, it was a TikTok video showing police cars gathered near rural North Carolina woods. The audio and a caption suggested the scene depicted the end of the long search for Tyler Doyle, a missing 22-year-old boater from Horry County. Sha Boyd, Tyler's aunt, knew it couldn't be true. Could it? It never is. She called the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office to ask about this TikTok video that sent Tyler's family into another tailspin of grief and hope. It was an old video, authorities confirmed. There was no news about Tyler. Then came word of a $1,416 collections bill for Tyler from a North Carolina hospital, claiming it treated him in an emergency room on May the 5th. That is May 5th, by the way, of 2023. More than 3 months after he was last seen. Boyd and Linda Doyle, Tyler's grandmother, felt their hearts racing. Was this a reason to hope? Or did it foretell another round of phone calls leading nowhere? "We're frozen," Linda Doyle said in tears. "We're in a place where we can't move on." It's been 6 months since Tyler Doyle was last seen on his sinking boat as it was drifting out to sea in rough waters near the North Carolina-South Carolina border. The ocean hasn't given him back, but the family's pain still comes in waves. You'll have a day when you think everything's going to be okay, and then you wake up one morning and it just hits you right in your stomach, Boyd said. Sometimes the pain comes out as sorrow. Why him? Why us? Other times it's anger. Why doesn't anyone have answers? And why do the rumors keep spreading? Like the woman who taunted the Facebook prayer group for Tyler by saying her friend had hung out with him days before. She recanted once investigators called to ask for details. Or the strangers who called his parents to say he's not really missing, that their pain is some sort of elaborate hoax. Others hurled death threats at Tyler's widow. Tyler's family tries to shake off the hate and misdirection. But one key question lingers. Did investigators miss their best chances at finding him? 2 people reached out to the U.S. Coast Guard directly that day to get help for Tyler, then dialed 911 when those calls went unanswered. And in the precious first moments of the search, with light rapidly dwindling, one rescue boat was diverted to the shore for an erroneous report that Tyler was safe on the beach. It's impossible to pinpoint any one decision that might have led to a different outcome. Could the shrimp boater who offered to help the next day have recovered the body if the state authorities had allowed him to assist? Still, Boyd said her family believes investigators missed key search opportunities, dismissed their concerns, and required prodding to take basic steps to help bring closure, like declaring Tyler missing. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, the state agency leading the search, said it sympathizes with Tyler's family and remains committed to finding him even after a massive canvas came up empty. So I just want to stop here and go to the chat and just get a feel for what you guys are saying. Stephanie Hines says, I can't even imagine what they are feeling day to day. Continued prayers for them to get the answers they deserve. Thank you, Stephanie. Hey, Millie. It's good to see you. I appreciate all of your prayers for this family. This is really hard to read, y'all. Libby says, this really brings home how damaging rumors are. We all need to be very careful about the information that we share. Mind a Monster says, so sad, victim blaming and family bashing makes my blood boil. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to have to jump back over here and go let my Doberman in. If you can give me just 1 second, we're going to take a quick little break and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let me get over here to your comments again. Get back to the article. Thank you, Mind of Monsters. So sad, victim blaming and family bashing makes my blood boil. Yes. Pleasantly planned. My son was one of those two people desperately begging for help for his best friend. Hey, Ashley, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were Casey. Hey, I hope you're doing good. I didn't know that was you. I need to get my glasses on. And thank y'all for being respectful in the chat. I really appreciate that. I'm just here to share this article. Let's see here. Mama Son, hey, thank you for being here. Mama Son says, my prayers to your family, Dutchess. I will light an extra candle for Tyler in church tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I know the family, if they're listening right now, Tyler's dad knows that I'm live right now, and he said that he was going to try to listen if he didn't go to the race. We were getting some rain here earlier, and he wasn't sure if he was going to make it out to the race or not. If y'all follow him on Facebook, I'm sure y'all saw that he was going to try to go out and race Tyler's car. But I don't know if he, decided to go. But I do hope they get some answers. Yes. Donna Chambers, thank you for becoming a member. Y'all, I'm so happy. I can't believe we have so many people joining the membership tonight. When I get back over there after we do this article, then I will play the video for all the members that joined during this. Hey, Wendy. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. You were so kind. So I'm going to go ahead and read the next section of the article, if that's okay with everybody. I'm so thrilled that this article has been put out. This is incredible. So the next part picks up right here. Okay, we just talked about the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources leading the search, and it sympathizes with Tyler's family and remains committed to finding him even after a massive canvas came up empty. That has been our goal from the beginning, and we share in their pain. DNR spokesman Stephen Fastow said. The ocean is a powerful force, but we remain committed to that goal in this case and others moving forward. DNR announced this week that it was collecting DNA samples in Tyler's case, months after the family pressed for action. Tyler's family said the DNA still has not been collected as of press time, July 27th. Now, mind you guys, the normal protocol for a missing persons report is 48 hours. The family did ask about that. I had Shay specifically to ask for that in February, and that is when they were told that Tyler was deceased and he didn't need a missing persons report. And we did not get him added into NamUs until March the 27th, in which I have told them to continue to press Ronnie Floyd to put the DNA on file in the instance if we have a hurricane, if anything was to happen and they were to find something, they would never know if it was Tyler if they didn't have DNA on file. And he wouldn't do it. So that's why this is critical. DNR announced this week that it was collecting DNA samples in Tyler's case months after the family had pressed for action. And of course, Boyd said the lead investigator in the case repeatedly told her, Tyler isn't missing, he's dead. And y'all, that is fact. Because he even told me that. He even said it in front of my husband, which made my husband extremely upset that whether you're a wildlife officer, if you're considered law enforcement, you should never speak to a family member or tell a family member they should go to church and get over that whatever they're going through. I just feel like that's inappropriate behavior. If you wouldn't want that said to your family member, you can't possibly want that for this family. It's just, they just basically give out tickets if you throw out garbage, wildlife tickets if you're speeding on the water, I guess, if they happen to be out there, or they count how many fish that you bring in. But are they actually trained in what to do in a missing persons case? Shouldn't they be trained how to file a missing persons report? I mean, they get to carry a gun, y'all. I mean, these are questions that I want to know. I want to go to Columbia. I want to ask somebody who's not the DNR who gets to decide what DNR's training is. I mean, I haven't seen that these officers have any formal law enforcement training in their background. Not all of them. Some of them do, but not all of them. That seems like that would be a requirement to be in this position if you're going to carry a gun. But that's just my Dutchy thoughts. There might be some people out in the chat that don't agree with me, but that's just the way I see it. I mean, you can commandeer the fish and do all this wildlife mess and be over these fishing license and these hunting license and all of that, but do you really know what you're doing in a missing persons case? Don't you think that needs to be turned over to the county law enforcement, the sheriff's department, the local police, SLED? Because in my opinion, I just don't think the DNR is equipped or trained to handle that situation. And if anyone doesn't agree with me, that's okay. Just say it. But I live here, and it's very disappointing because what happens to the next person that's in a situation like this? They're not gonna get a missing persons report either unless the family goes ham on them. Now, we'll tell you that, um, the guy with North Carolina Department of Natural Resources told the family that if Tyler had gone missing there and he was from North Carolina, it didn't matter if he was missing in the ocean or not, he would have got a missing persons report within 2 days. 2 days. He said, "We don't operate the same way as South Carolina does." So once again, we're faced with a situation where it's a state to state protocol situation. It's not good. Okay, so Mind Monster says, "Where I'm from, the Fish and Game does help with missing cases. I have a missing case from my hometown, and I had to call Fish and Game to get the original report. Then it was turned over to state law enforcement." See, Ronnie don't want to turn it over. In fact, I've heard a phone call already where the family has asked, "Hey, can you we're okay if you wanna turn this over to somebody else because we're gonna have more questions and we're gonna be making phone calls, and we need things looked into, you know, shouldn't you go ahead and turn this over?" "No, no, this case, it's pretty much closed," you know? I mean, it's the wildest thing I've ever seen. Usually, the DNR will work alongside of another department, like the sheriff's department or the police department, or but no, they're flying solo on this, and they aren't allowing anybody in. Even SLED told me, and Shay, that they couldn't get involved, like, they have to be invited in to the case by the lead investigator. Do y'all think that's gonna happen? Because we tried to get them involved. We tried to get them involved, and they told me we can't get involved. They literally have to invite us in on this case unless they have something that they I guess some type of reason that they need to get involved. But I guess whatever we gave them, that wasn't a reason. Yeah, it does sound like political BS, doesn't it, Libby? It just makes me so angry. Yes, pleasantly planned. Dutchess, tell everyone how DNR is the upper hand of law enforcement here. It's true. The DNR thinks they are like the head honcho, and their arrogance supersedes them for sure. So, and I'm sure that not all DNR agents are bad. So I just want to say that also. Because we have really good I know some good law enforcement officers. I'm friends with a couple of law enforcement officers here in Horry County, and they're good guys. Um, even there's a couple guys that I know that they even side eye the DNR because I think they have their own opinions about it too. So I don't know. I just I'll be glad when he's spoken to about this by the people that need to be holding him accountable. And it looks like this picture that they have here was taken just off the coast of South Carolina near the Little River Inlet where Tyler Doyle disappeared on January 26th while hunting. Y'all hang on one second. Go lay down. Come on up here and lay down. Sorry, y'all, my Doberman, she's such a baby. I have to go cater to her every little need. And right now she needs her daddy who's at the neighbor's house playing cards. And I can't give her access to him. So she's not happy. But that it'll be okay. All right. So now as we go on down to this next part of the article here, it says, hang on, let's see. Looks like Pleasantly Planned wants me to read her comment. Let me go over here before I get started. Hey, Adrian. Tyler's whole family looked up to DNR for answers, and they all were told, Tyler's dead, get over it. That's disgusting. Yes. That happened. It did. It's very terrible, honestly. I have reached out to Henry Master. When I've been emailing all of these media people, I sent him an email too, but I haven't heard anything. They told me they were going to respond to me, but I haven't got a response yet. Y'all, if you live in South Carolina or no matter where you live, like y'all, please send an email to Henry Master. I've sent an email to all kinds of people. These people probably think I'm crazy, but that's what we do in this community. When we're covering missing kids, we just have to reach out to whoever we can to try to get the attention and the focus on these cases. So, I'm hoping to speak to a guy that's on the South Carolina Judiciary Oversight Committee. He's local here in Horry County, and he's also an attorney. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get a phone call with him because I feel like the oversight committee with the legislative oversight committee, those are the people that help make protocols for people like DNR. So I want to get in his ear. So I'm hoping that he's going to give me a call back. Yes, Libby, I'll be crossing every T and dotting every damn I too. I'm trying. I do whatever it's got to take. The fight for Tyler is real, and it takes up a lot of time, to do this, and plus there's other cases that I'm working on. So I'm not always in the places where people might think that I need to be because it's hard for me I'm spread very thin right now because my family needs me. I have my parents are older and their health is not well. So I will be going home this weekend to check on my mom and dad. And but I'm still going to try to get out and cover these cases. I have other families that I'm working with to find their missing loved one, Amber Ray Johnston and Jaden Carpenter, and Tyler's family. So, I don't always know everything that's going on. I may miss a lot of things because I have stuff in my real life that's going on. Plus, I have my own, platform where I cover a lot of other cases. If there's something specific that you need to know, or that you need to get information to me, you can always email me. You can always send me a private Facebook message to reach out to me. Because sometimes, even if I'm in these Facebook groups, I may not see every single thing that comes through there because there's not enough hours in the day, guys. Let's face it. I just basically work directly with the family and they let me know if there's things that they want me to put out or things that I need to do, and then I just try to keep Tyler's information circulating out there and just check in all the places, that I can. So, and I appreciate all of you guys being there to be supportive. And, in Tyler's group where the family is located, they really just appreciate the prayer and support in that group. That was, I think, what the family really liked the most about that group is that it was a very calm place, that it wasn't a lot of trash talk or rumors and gossip and things like that. They wanted to keep the focus on Tyler and praying um, for his return. And that's it's been very uplifting. The family has been very grateful as it's a place to share updates that the family wants people to know about. And um, I appreciate all of the mods and admins that are working in that group to help keep things going over there because I can't always be there. Um, so I really do appreciate all of them as well. Um, so if we move on into this article, the next section of this is called "Drifting Out to Sea," and it starts off by saying the Little River Inlet is notorious among Grand Strand boaters. The inlet is where the Atlantic Intercoastal Waterway and Little River meet and empty into the Atlantic Ocean through a kind of funnel created by a pair of jetties a few hundred yards from the state line. For a boat to reach one jetty from the other, it would need to pass through a powerful current that rushes through the center of the inlet, bounded on either side by buoys and posts acting as warnings. Boaters avoid the current or drive gingerly through it. During the shift to low tide, that current rushes out toward the ocean. Randy Gardner, chief of North Myrtle Beach Rescue Squad, said potentially treacherous conditions can be created by the 4 to 5 foot waves breaking onto the jetty rocks and the strong current pushing through the jetties. This particular Horry County area is a known danger spot for boaters. Little River ranks among the top 10 waterways in South Carolina for boating accidents, with 25 between 2018 and 2022, according to U.S. Coast Guard data. And I can tell you that there are some shipwrecks at the bottom, right by the jetty. There are still boats sitting at the bottom of the water there. On July 19th, an 11-year-old girl was killed in a boat crash in the area when she and 11 other passengers were thrown overboard by another boat's large wake. This happened last week, guys, out in the waterway in front of my house also. Then weeks earlier, 2 other fatal crashes occurred along the Intercoastal Waterway, with one causing critical injuries, according to officials. And in one of those crashes, the one guy passed away and one guy was arrested. Horry County recorded the most boat crashes and fatalities in South Carolina between 2018 and 2022, and Little River had more accidents than anywhere in the county, apart from the Waccamaw River and the Intercoastal Waterway near Myrtle Beach. It was in this potentially treacherous area that Tyler Doyle, a 22-year-old husband and father-to-be, went duck hunting with his friend Christian Holden on January 26th. The tide was heading out. A doorbell camera caught him walking out the door toward the truck with the boat behind it at 2:58 p.m. Tyler and Christian wanted to squeeze in a little bit of hunting with what daylight was left that Wednesday afternoon. Choppy waters wouldn't deter Tyler, a seasoned hunter and a known risk taker. He started duck hunting, boating, and racing when he was around 6 years old, after being inspired by his father. Standing strong at 5 feet 10 and about 200 pounds, Tyler could do the work of 3 men and lift heavy appliances, his family said. Sometimes he'd drive a boat like it was his race car, the front hovering above the water. He wasn't afraid of anything, said Boyd, who remembers a young Tyler speeding toward her house on a four-wheeler, his younger brother's arms wrapped around him. Chris Sweat, Tyler's boss at an appliance repair shop in Loris, said Tyler would often go out on a boat before or after work during hunting season. Sometimes he'd sleep on his boat while docked in the marshes, wanting to be ready at sunrise. On January 26th, duck hunting season was nearing its end, but the water wasn't cooperating. The National Weather Service issued a small craft advisory about the hazardous conditions. With 30-degree temperatures, the water was less than 60 degrees, cold enough to cause hypothermia or shock. And here's a picture of Tyler's boat right here. Hey, Danielle Todd. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for coming over. Tyler and Christian were undeterred. Tyler bought this 16-foot John boat only a month before, with Boyd co-signing to help him qualify for a 4-year loan. The first payment had been due January the 20th, 6 days earlier. Tyler dropped off Christian near the North Jetty so he could scout and put out decoys. Alone in the boat, wearing waders and a green camo shirt, Tyler was headed through the dangerous current. The boat motor cut out. Tyler called Christian, worried. Call Cito. Call the Coast Guard. I'm taking on water. Tyler's calls became increasingly frantic. He then called his friend, Brandon Tyler, who works on boats. How do I get the motor running? Nothing is working. A friend out on a kayak called Tyler to ask how the hunt was going. I'm sinking. Call the Coast Guard. I've got to go. The call lasted 18 seconds. At 4:49 p.m., Christian called the Coast Guard. Then he called again. The phone records show in his first 911 call at 4:51 p.m., Christian told the dispatcher that he needed the Coast Guard. Tyler was stuck in the ocean, drifting out to the ocean, and I cannot get nobody to answer, Christian said on the call. When Brandon Tyler called 911, he also told the dispatcher he tried calling the Coast Guard but couldn't get through. A Coast Guard spokesman told the Post and Courier he couldn't confirm what the numbers had been called and that there's a chance they had called non-emergency numbers. The spokesman added that the Coast Guard responded immediately when 911 operators relayed the call to them. Meanwhile, Christian flagged down a boater who tried to sail over to look for Tyler before turning around because the waters were too rough. Less than 90 seconds into the 911 call, Christian said he had lost sight of Tyler. Tyler and the sinking boat had drifted out past the jetties into the ocean. It's the last time anyone would see Tyler. But in the confusion of the search early on, word spread that he had been found. When the boater who stopped to help asked later that day if authorities rescued the missing boater, They told him yes. Some of the first rescue boaters on scene were told a person had made it to the beach, so they headed to land, only to find a shell collector and a dog walker on the shore. No sign of Tyler. We knew the seas were going to be rough, and hurt people who were in the water that day would be starting to have some signs and symptoms of hypothermia, Gardner said, describing rescues that day. We want to get out there as quickly as possible so that we can make any rescues, because people start getting cold and it's hard to keep yourself floating. Rescue crews picked up Christian off the jetty and found Tyler's boat mostly submerged with the bow up. Tyler, the young daredevil, had disappeared into the current. Hope, then despair. Tyler's family thought they were heading to the waterfront for a reunion. They heard a rescue boater was being taken to the boat landing of Windjammer Village, a private gated Little River community. Tyler's family rushed to see him. While on the drive, Boyd also called 911, the relief evident in her tone as the conversation began. And she apologized. "I think that we may have just found him." The dispatcher asked her to stay on the line, and she got out of her car and for 53 seconds believed everything was okay. And if you have been here on my channel, you have heard this 911 call that Shay asked me to play of her. And it is heartbreaking. Y'all, she was so stressed out that she even forgot she called 911. And when I told her that there was 4 calls, I said, "Do you know who that person might have been?" Shay had forgotten she'd even called 911 because she hadn't even slept. And see, but it was a miscommunication. Someone told her, "Jesus, please, we are begging you to bring him home safely," she said, sobbing. "They told us that he was okay." At the boat landing ramp, as the daylight dwindled, she and her brother Brian Doyle stood hand in hand, waiting and hoping. "We knew that they were going to get him," Boyd said. "I just knew he was going to be saved because he was strong. He was smart." At 7:21 p.m., authorities pinged Tyler's cell phone in the hope that it might reveal his location, and the phone was off. Sweat, Tyler's boss, assisted in the search for 3 weeks with his wife and son. They walked over beaches with flashlights and flew a drone over the ocean from Sunset Beach down to Myrtle. As the trio searched along the North Carolina coastline, Sweat said the search felt eerie because they couldn't find any signs of Tyler. "If we hadn't been a part of it from the beginning, it was almost hard to believe that a human being can vanish like that," Sweat said. "I've never experienced anything like it." For 43 days, federal, state, and local agencies would search the waters and beaches nearby. There were boats with sonar and helicopters with infrared devices scanning above and below the surface. Anything that looked like it might be a body was checked by a diver, DNR said. The dive team spent more than 300 hours on the search. North Star Search and Rescue was among the group that brought cadaver sniffing dogs to assist. Astor, Sophie, and Deacon signaled they smelled human remains at spots in the water not far from the jetties. Nothing came of it. Boyd and Brian Doyle searched for weeks. They drove jet skis through the canals looking for any signs of Tyler until they wrecked them running over an oyster bed. I will never forget that day. And I'm not even sure that one jet ski is still working. Brian and Shay's probably laughing right now. They rode electric bikes from Sunset Beach down to the jetties, flying one drone and putting another in the water. And Brian and I have gone on searches too, and he has the drone. We haven't stopped. So a few days after Tyler disappeared, Boyd was on a boat with family members when they found waders with Tyler's wallet inside, somehow unseen during the search so far. That would be the only other shred of evidence to wash up, other than the duck decoys that they found, of course. And I think this is probably right here. This may be the video. Do you guys want to take a look at this video real quick before we continue with the article? Let's see what we got here.
What is the address of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I need to get a hold of Coast Guard or something like that. I'm stuck in the ocean, drifting out in the ocean. I cannot get nobody to answer.
Okay. Is anybody injured on your boat?
No, ma'am. I'm standing on the jetty right. The motor cut off on the boat. It's drifting out in the ocean. He's in it. It's sinking.
Is anybody in the boat?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's in the boat?
Tyler, a buddy of mine.
All right, hold on, honey. I'm gonna bring in the Coast Guard. Don't hang up.
Hi, my name is Sharon Boyd, and today I had to call in for my nephew who's been missing, Tyler Doyle. And you guys were on the phone with me, and I'm not sure who I was speaking to, but we found his waders and his driver's license, his wallet and stuff was in his waders in Brunswick County. And I didn't know if you could, they actually sent a link to follow my location where I was at, because we were on a boat out in North Carolina and we're from South Carolina. And I didn't know if I could get those coordinates. You guys still are following my location on my cell phone now. I allowed it infinity because I'm going to be out there tomorrow. But that one spot, we stayed there until the local police came out to our boat. But I didn't know if you had the ability to tell me the exact coordinates where I was at, because I really didn't have that ability. I have Life 360, but okay, thank you.
Several groups are on Facebook for people who are actually searching for Tyler Doyle. They want to know what's happening to the guy. Yeah, that's right, John. Did you know that Tyler Doyle was Still, Jenny's on board for the man who was with rescue the Doyle again now.
Oh, wow. Just breaks my heart. It really does. So we go on to the next part of this article called Missed Opportunities. Shrimp boat captain Danny Jewell has sailed these waters for more than 4 decades. He said the rushing water out of the intercoastal waterway at low tide could be dangerous, especially for a smaller John boat stuck in its current. He said a life vest wouldn't have helped much to keep someone alive as water broke over them. The afternoon after Tyler went missing, Jewell told DNR investigators he planned to comb the bottom of the water, which is to drag it with his shrimp net. With his shrimp net reaching 40 feet across and tied off enough not to capture anything smaller than a body, he could cover nearly every inch of the seafloor within several hours. He could also map out a grid to ensure seafloor coverage. This is a man who knows this waterway like the back of his hand. His family runs Hurricane Jules, which is a seafood restaurant down on Mineola Avenue right on the waterway. And it's some good eating, y'all. This is what these people do. They are fishermen. They are captains. They know this water like the back of their hands. And he's a good man. And Danny, if you're out there listening, I'm sorry how the DNR treated you as well. They said no, that the reason I couldn't drag my net was because shrimp season was closed, Jules said. I said, you've got to be kidding me. I just want to help the family. And DNR is sitting there scratching their tails, more or less. Petra has a lot to say right now. Jules' son had died earlier that month, and he knew the family needed a body to grieve over. Y'all, that breaks my heart. He pleaded to help, suggesting that he could stay away from the diving areas and that a DNR agent could stay on his boat to make sure he didn't keep any shrimp that he might catch. But DNR agents remained firm, saying that their bosses wouldn't allow it. Jewell maintains there was a 1 to 2 day window to retrieve Tyler's body before it was claimed by the sea, and that his plan would have worked. So when DNR called back a few days later to ask if he'd bring his net out and drag the inlet, he said no. They'd missed their chance. And it wasn't just a few days later, y'all. It was like weeks. They changed their mind like 2 or 3 weeks down the road when there wouldn't be nothing to bring home. And that's why he wouldn't do it, y'all. It's not because Danny Jewell didn't have a heart. It's because he didn't want to bring them home something that didn't look like, you know what I'm saying. It's just, it infuriates me that they treated this man that way, and he had just lost his own son. And he was just trying to comfort this family and help them find closure by helping them bring Tyler home, and they wouldn't allow it. And that really bothers me. Because isn't that what law enforcement's there for, is to do that for the family? Well, I mean, that's true. They're lazy and they don't want to have to do the paperwork. This is why it's a problem, for sure. DNR later told the Post and Courier that it didn't refuse Jules' request to drag his nets. He initially offered his help, but when we were ready for him to participate, he rescinded that offer, Fastenal said. Of course, that's what they said. But I was out there with the family when this was all happening, and I'm going to tell you, it didn't go over well. It didn't sit well with Danny Jewel, and it sure as heck didn't sit well with the family. I couldn't believe that they even told him that they would, if he went out there and did it against them telling him that he couldn't, that they would take his license away for an entire year so that he couldn't fish if he went out there and dragged that waterway for that boy. Now, what in the world are you doing posing a threat like that, that if you catch him out there doing that, you're going to suspend his license? Yes, that really happened, y'all. And I hope that one day Danny Jewel will, maybe he'll come on a live stream and he'll tell us all about it. Because I'd really like for you to hear it from him rather than hear it from me. But that did happen. Yeah. So, so for the DNR to tell the Post and Courier that he just didn't participate when they were ready for him. The time is of the essence. The time to participate to bring Tyler Doyle home is ASAP, sir. Don't get me started on Kevin. He's the one that said that Tyler was in heaven holding some baby that, I can't even, I'm not going to take myself there because I'm going to get mad. And I can't let myself do that right now. They just, disrespectful. This is not how professional people should carry themselves in their job. You don't speak to people that way. It is horrible. So the agency said it was grateful for other agencies and volunteers who helped search for Tyler, and that its agents continue the search as part of their regular patrols. Okay, I just want to make a quick comment about this little section right here. This section right here. Y'all see that? Number 1, Kevin and Ronnie Floyd. If you're listening right now, you know that I said this to your face. I have 3 agencies that can come and help search. Shay had to give the information to a lady at South Carolina DNR because they weren't allowed to offer them to come down. They had to get it approved from Greg Lucas or whoever his boss is, the guy that said they spent $100,000 looking for Tyler. Then we waited. We waited for 3 weeks and they never responded. I kept asking Shay, has DNR said this group, Search and Rescue, was from Spartanburg? And I spoke with that gentleman on the telephone. He was ready to send people. He needed an official call from DNR so they could get all of the information about the case, so they could decide how many people needed to come, how long they needed to stay, what equipment they needed to bring with them, and how to assess the terrain. They needed all the information from DNR. DNR refused to call them. I also had Michelle Galliot from the Richland County Sheriff's Department. I had his cell number to call and ask him if he would bring his human detection dogs here, as well as a search and rescue team from Hilton Head, South Carolina. And South Carolina DNR never reached out to any of those agencies who were willing to come and help. And I want to know what they spent $100,000 on. I have actually asked and tried to FOIA the information for a fiscal breakdown of what that money, the $100,000. I wanted to see a fiscal breakdown of what that money was utilized for, in the increments in Tyler's case. But I was denied that information. They told me that that information was not available for me. So, I just don't see how that's possible. That you can be grateful, but you also wouldn't accept that the family wanted other help, and you neglected to invite those people to come down and help. I sourced those people, and you turned them away basically because you knew that they were 501c3 and they were law enforcement. And so you would have to formally invite them to be a part of the search, and you didn't want to do it. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you not allow this family to get the help they needed? Because Chaos Divers came and they had to leave, y'all, because the water was way too rough for them to dive in. And that's why they left, and they went to another case and they never came back. So it was just Wings of Hope. And there was even times that Wings of Hope needed to get in the water and those people to dive, and they couldn't because DNR told them that they couldn't because the conditions were not good and they couldn't let them out there to dive. What does somebody do when somebody's missing? I mean, isn't that what you're trained for, is to have to work in those conditions? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. It just makes me irritated for them to say something like that, knowing good and well that they turned down help that the family asked me to try to get together. I just don't think they want to do their job. I think they're just lazy, or they're just dragging their feet doing whatever because that means more paperwork, more work they got to do. But they sure did spend a lot of time out there eating the Doyle's food. Oh, they love to eat when Miss Linda and all the ladies would bring their home cooking out there. Oh, they didn't miss a meal. I promise you that. Love me or hate me, I'm just going to tell you like it is. And look, and I see somebody else in the chat that knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, it says, after Tyler went missing, his family was criticized online because they had not filed a missing persons report. That's true. But it's not because they didn't file one, y'all. I was there. I even talked to Ronnie about it, and he told me there was no reason to report Tyler missing because Tyler was dead. And that was just a couple of weeks after Tyler went missing. And I was like, you don't have any evidence that he's dead. So as far as we know, he's still missing. So you still should give him a missing persons report. He should have had one within 48 hours. Well, that's not South Carolina protocol. So I asked Ronnie to show me what the South Carolina protocol about missing people in the water was, and he never sent it to me. I even called South Carolina DNR, and I emailed them and requested for them to send me what the protocols are for filing a missing persons report if you go missing in the water. And no one has responded to me yet. I encourage you, if you're in the chat or you're listening, If you want to know the answer about what the protocol is for what DNR does if you go missing in the waterway or on the Waccamaw River or in the ocean, I encourage you to call the DNR and demand that they show you in a written document what the South Carolina protocol is, because there is not a protocol that says if you go missing in the water, you don't get a missing persons report. However, that's what Ronnie Floyd told Shay and Brian. If you're missing in the water, you don't need a missing persons report because you're in the water. But how do you know that he's in the water? What if somebody picked you up if you were in the water? What if a boat came by and picked you up and took you back to land? Okay, then you're not in the water. But if you think that they're just in the water, but really they're on land, how would anybody know? Because you don't have a missing persons report on them. It's so unprofessional, guys. I mean, I'm not even law enforcement, and I know that everybody should get a missing persons report if you've been missing longer than 48 hours. Because why not? Hey, New Start Homestead, I'm so glad to see you here. Yes, I know Kevin said that to y'all. We talked about this, didn't we? Yes, ma'am, we did. He sat out there with me and a couple of y'all ladies and told me some of the craziest things that I had to get up and go home because take deep breaths the whole way back to my home after that very unprofessional September Virgo. Exactly, Michelle. What if he had amnesia? A missing persons. I mean, it should just be a standard thing, regardless if you have your own personal beliefs about what you think happened. It's just a standard protocol until more information comes about. It should just be a standard way that you handle cases. That's why you have protocols in place for situations like this. I pay taxes here. So therefore, I'm going to speak my mind about it because I live here. And it disgusts me. It disgusts me to know that my tax-paying dollars are going to this so they can brag that they spent $100,000 of taxpayer money. Well, I want to see the receipts. I want to see exactly what that money was spent on. I want you to give me a breakdown on where every dime went in this case, because it's not adding up for me. And it's not adding up to the family, I'm sure. Okay, onward and upward, y'all. Let's see, but Shay blames DNR for dragging its feet on registering Tyler into the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. That is NamUs. That is what Shay and I worked diligently to tell Ronnie Floyd that this was so important that he get this missing persons report filed in the NCIC, but that we also wanted it because the NCIC is only accessible by law enforcement in court. Okay, the NCIC, that's the National Crime Information Center. Missing people go there. If there is a bolo because you've got a warrant for your arrest. I mean, there's different reasons why people get put in the NCIC, but you also get put in the NCIC if you're missing. So if you show up at a hospital, if you get arrested in another state, when they put you into the system, that will automatically come up that you're missing in another state. You see why that's important? Because what if Tyler was to show up in another place? How would anybody else know Tyler was missing if he wasn't in the NCIC even? No, Ronnie didn't even have him in that. They didn't have nothing, y'all. I can't. So that's why we push for the NamUs. I know Catherine, I've talked to her a few times about some other cases that I've had to try to help people get NamUs numbers for. So I gave all the information to Shay. I said, you need to reach out to this woman. She is going to help you. She is going to help stay on Ronnie about getting this taken care of. And she has been wonderful. She's been an asset to work with this family to get this information out there. because we don't really know what happened, guys. Remember, Christian Holden is the only one that was out there. And no hate to Christian. If you're out there listening, Christian, I just want you to know, like, in all fairness, we just want to hear your side of the story. And I'm not even here to accuse you of doing anything wrong. I think we just all want to know we just want to hear it from you. Like, what really happened that day. And I respect that you don't want to come up and tell people. You feel like people are going to attack you, and I'm sorry that's happening. I don't want anybody to go and attack Christian in real life. I don't think that's going to help anything. That's not going to help us find answers by attacking Christian. Do y'all think he's going to come forward and even be willing to talk to anybody if we just go around and attack him? Probably not. So I wanted to give him a space to be able just to come up here. I just would like to know what he has to say. I figured he would at least reach out to the family and say, hey, look, I'm sorry that this happened. Like, there was nothing I could do. And I feel really bad because Tyler was a good guy. And it happened all so fast. I panicked, and I did the best that I could. I think that's really all the family wants to know. We just want to hear him walk us through it, because I think it would just help so many people to have a better understanding of what actually took place that day. But I have to respect his, wishes that he doesn't want to do that. But he is the only person who does know. So I think that's what makes it really difficult, is the not knowing. There's not any video cameras out in that area because there's no houses all the way out there where the jetty is. There used to be cameras on some buoys on the waterway and out in that area, but I was told that the cameras that were out in that area on buoys were not working. So there was no way to access any camera footage because those cameras aren't there anymore. So how else are we going to really know unless we hear it from him? Yeah, and you're right. I mean, it does make it, I think that's where people are kind of coming from on social media, Happy Paul's pet sitting, is it's, when you don't speak out about something, then it makes people feel like that you're hiding something because you're not being transparent. And I can understand that. But we don't want to jump to conclusions, and I don't want anybody to go bashing anybody on the 911 calls, or to go bashing anybody that was Tyler's friend or his wife or her family or Christian, or because that's not helping. It's not really helping to attack other people. The family just needs to know what happened. And I just feel like the DNR, botched this case. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay, guys, thank you. I'm so sorry about that. Hubby's home. He just came back in, and the dog was getting excited, so I didn't want y'all to have to hear the rah, 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 and all that. Hey, Toaster Oven, I'm so glad to see you. So let's go back over here to this article. So it says, and it explains here, NamUs is a national centralized repository for missing and unidentified people in the United States, where criminal justice agencies can file a missing persons report and submit DNA, fingerprints, dental records, and other forms of identification. This DNA would be submitted into NamUs database. Now, I do know that they have also looked into getting Tyler's dental records. which I don't think he has any current dental records on file. I know that Shay and Linda were looking into finding his dental records from when he was a child, but they are going to try to get DNA from his mom and Brian. I think that is the goal, from getting DNA from his mom and his dad to put on file. And this is in the event that anything is ever recovered, that they would be able to have closure in knowing. So it says, then if any remains turned up, agencies could use the database to verify those remains and could possibly belong to a person who has been officially reported missing. Notice that part, officially reported missing. So if Tyler was ever to be found, but Ronnie never filed the original missing persons report, then nobody would ever be able to verify anything, would they? See how that doesn't make any sense? Now it says here, the NamUs website states that family members of missing people cannot collect and submit their own DNA samples. This is true. Usually the state police has to come and collect that on your behalf to put that on file. Criminal justice personnel of agencies in charge of cases must request DNA kits from NamUs, collect the DNA from the family members, and submit the kits on behalf of the family. In Tyler's case, the leading investigative agency is the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boyd said she was told that DNR had to be in charge of filing the missing persons report for Tyler, and that DNR investigator Ronnie Floyd repeatedly delayed filing the report and dismissed her concerns by saying, Tyler is dead. Tyler is in heaven. One time after Boyd asked for the report, she said Floyd allegedly dismissed her by saying, I think you and your family need to go to church. She said Floyd did not provide her with any regulations as to why they could not file the report after Tyler's accident. On March 27th, Boyd and Brian Doyle created a profile for Tyler on NamUs because they believed DNR would never do it. DNR announced this week that it was working to collect DNA samples as part of Tyler's missing person registration. The update came after DNR received an email from the Post and Courier that included questions about why the process had been delayed. Tyler's family said the move came after months of phone calls asking investigators to act. Our sympathy is with Tyler's family and loved ones who have not yet received closure in this case, DNR's statement read. That has been our goal from the beginning, and we share in their pain. As of July 27th, none of the DNA samples have been collected. Remembering Tyler. When Tyler first went missing, Boyd would stay up at night and scroll through live beach camera feeds. Part of her hoped he wouldn't wash ashore while she watched, but part of her wanted to spot him and spare others from having to see it. Mostly, she wanted an answer. She said Brian Doyle temporarily covered pictures of Tyler in his house because he couldn't handle seeing them. Also, she said while he walked his dog, he would wrestle with God, asking, why didn't you take me instead? Linda Doyle often holds a folded shirt with Tyler's face on it close to her chest, weeping and begging him to come home. It remains difficult for some of Tyler's friends and family members to talk about him. Brian Doyle and Tyler's younger brother Reed Doyle both declined to be interviewed, citing the emotional toll of his disappearance. Christian and Tyler's widow, Lakeland Doyle, did not respond to interview requests. Sweat said Tyler was the glue that held his family together. Still, Tyler's friends and family have continued to keep his memory alive. A couple of Tyler's friends got tattoos commemorating him that featured duck hunting and his race car number 38. That's really cool. I would like to see that. If you're one of those people and you're listening in the chat, send me your picture. I'd like to show that. Doyle built the car in his father's garage and enjoyed racing at Lakeview, Fayetteville, and Halifax County Motor Speedways. His number was inspired by those of Dale Earnhardt, number 3, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., number 88. The Lakeview Motor Speedway held a memorial event in Tyler's honor on June 10th, which included a walk around the track featuring his family members. Lakeland Doyle also added $150 in her missing husband's honor as a prize for the racer who gained the most positions that night, according to track officials. Track owner Scott Tripp described Tyler as someone with a glowing personality who always wore a dimpled grin. We know Tyler as a hard worker, a great kid, a great racer, and an asset to our racing community and racetrack, Tripp said. I wish we had 100 Tyler Doyles racing at Lakeview. Tyler's legacy also lives on in his infant daughter Paisley, who was born in April. His family members pray they can continue seeing her. Although Tyler never got to meet Paisley, she shares his cheeky smile and signature dimples. The striking family resemblance can be seen in baby photos of Paisley, Tyler, and Tyler's grandfather, Ricky Doyle. Some of the family bonds have frayed since Tyler's disappearance. His relatives say they have not seen his widow, Lakeland Doyle, or his daughter, Paisley, since June 5th, when Lakeland moved out of the house where she and Tyler had lived. Brian Doyle filed a lawsuit in county court against Lakeland Doyle on June 23rd in an attempt to reclaim 3 rifles she took when she left. He confirmed she has since returned them. Boyd said she hopes to advocate for stricter laws regarding boating safety and missing persons reports. And as you guys know, we do have the petition for Tyler's Beacon Law, and my mods can drop that here in the chat. If you can please share this Beacon Law petition around, please sign it, please share it around on your social media. We would really be grateful. Tyler has such a big heart and a passion for people who couldn't stand up for themselves, she said, and we have to be his voice. On the worst days, she imagines what might have taken him once he was underneath the waves. Other times, she pictures him walking through the door. Any answer would have been better than not knowing. And again, the credit for this story goes to Nicole Zieg, and she is on Twitter. You can see here if you guys want to follow her on Twitter at Nicole Zieg. And John Ramsey is also on Twitter, and you guys can see that here if you guys want to follow them. They are the two with the Post and Courier that came and interviewed Shay for this story, and I'd like to thank them for writing the story and the video that they made to bring awareness to this situation. A lot has transpired, and it's not even been 6 months. Can you guys believe it has not even been 6 months yet? So this is the article that is behind, that is a subscribers only feature. But I do understand that not everybody is able to go over and pay for this article. And again, I do believe that the admins are sharing a copy of this article. They're going to screenshot it so that it can be read in its entirety in the group. So if you would like to be able to read that article, I know it will be in the Fighting to Bring Tyler Doyle Home group. But I just wanted to review that here on the channel, because that's what we do. We talk about missing cases, and we talk about Tyler Doyle. So I wanted to make sure that if anyone wanted to come over and listen to me read the article, if you're like me, sometimes that's why I listen to live streams, because I can absorb the information better if I'm listening to someone talk about it on a live stream versus sitting down to read the article. So I wanted to share that with you, and just ask you to please continue to pray for the Doyle family. They really appreciate your support. It's just been very difficult, and they're just very tired. They just want answers. It's hard to know really what you're going to think and act like 1 month after your loved one goes missing, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. It affects you in ways that how it affects one person may not affect another person that way in the family. We all handle stress differently. And we're all just human. So don't forget that when you feel like that you have issues with people, or you have things that you don't understand about why someone does or doesn't do things. Don't just make assumptions about the situation because you have a certain feeling or it looks to be a certain way about something. Try to give people some grace, because there's probably a lot of people that there's not really anything nefarious going on. It's just they have other things that are going on in their life too. Maybe they can't be present for all of the things. So try to be just try to be kind and give people grace. But also stay aware and alert that there's things happen in this case that doesn't always make sense. I've been surprised and shocked by things I've seen on social media that I've been told or seen that's happened, that people are talking about, that the family has told me about. That's just, that heart breaks my heart, and there's things that are not for me to always talk about on the channel. It's for the family. When they're ready to talk about those things, they will. They will. And I appreciate all of you joining me. Does anyone have any questions or anything before we, I want to let you guys get back to your real life. I have to go call my mom and check in on my dad, because he's not been doing good. And I'm sure anyone that's been over here on my live streams know that my parents' health has not been well, and I'm going to be leaving to go out of town again to go home and check on my family. And hey, Uber gal, I'm so glad that you came, and you're welcome. Pleasantly Planned, thank you for being here. Hey, Jennifer Marie, thank you so much for being here. And if you see his poster out there, please continue to share it around. I am working with Shay to try to get some posters printed here locally and get them laminated, and so that we can go and hang them up here locally at marinas, all up and down the waterway on the North Carolina, South Carolina coast. So maybe Libby can come help me. We're experienced at hanging up flyers, aren't we, Libby? We've got our staple guns and everything. So thank you, Rich Berry. I appreciate that so very much. And it's good to see you, New Start Homestead. I hope you're doing well. I watch your videos over there too, with your little goats and everything. I just love that. I sent it to my mama because my mama, she loves the little goats. It makes her happy. So I sent that. And I appreciate y'all covering me and my family in prayer. I've just had a lot going on. You know, I still work from my home. I have an art business. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but I have an art studio in my house. And, you know, in between of all this covering missing cases, making missing flyers, working on these cases, I also still have artwork that I make and sell. And, you know, and plus I have a family that I take care of. So sometimes I'm spread myself too thin because I have so many projects that I have going on. But these are all of my passions: art and true crime and helping find missing people. And I just appreciate you guys being here to support. Hey, we are Cody's Voice. I'm so glad. Please reach out to me because I want to schedule a live stream with you so you can tell us all about Cody's ride for justice that you recently had at the end of this. I don't have a current website for my art. I just have been selling it on Facebook, and right now people have just been reaching out to me to have me do individual projects. And I've just been so busy with other things that I have not got my website back up and running, but I'm trying to work on that. I do have another YouTube channel, and I'm going to be doing some more art live streams. So if you guys like to watch fluid art, watch how I make fluid art. I have some upcoming paintings that I'm going to be doing. And if you guys are interested in the art aspect of what I do, I will let you guys know about that on my Facebook page. And I'll be sure to share that out if you guys are interested in watching me do some live art streams. Just let me know about it, and I'll be sure to post that on my personal Facebook page on Dutchess. I'll let you guys know that, and I'll give you the YouTube channel link when I get all of that stuff set up. So, but I really appreciate all of you guys being here and joining me for this. I just wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to know exactly what was in this article. I only think it's fair to know, because it's such a great article and it gives a lot of information. And I'm really anxious for Fitz News and WBTW and the Sun News to speak with the family, because it's time that we take a stand for how people that go missing are treated in the state of South Carolina. And it should be that way in every state. There should be protocols that are followed. That's what I would want for my family member. And I've been through a traumatic situation where I almost drowned in that same waterway, and that could be me. That could be my family member because I live here. I would never want to see that happen to anybody. I'm just not built that way, y'all. I'm just here to help people get their information out there, so that their missing loved one can be found and they can receive the justice that they deserve. So, hey, honey Luke, I'm so glad to see you. Well, I'll have to show you sometime. I do have a couple of art live streams. Libby's an artist too. We used to do art live streams together. Libby, remember those days when we used to go live and do art live streams? We'll have to do that again soon. Thank you, Lolly, for being here. I hope it's okay that I gave you some metal over here, because I noticed that my Doberman sat on my YouTube studio and erased all my moderators one time, and it took everybody out there, including Libby and everybody else. So I had to add them back. So yes, Rich, I know. Well, that's what we're hoping to bring to justice, because I have a feeling this is not the only case that South Carolina DNR has issues with, from what I understand. There are multiple cases across this state where there has been behaviors that are not becoming of the South Carolina DNR, where cases were handled inappropriately and were not carried out by protocols or given excuses. You know, things were just swept under the rug. You know, turn your head and look the other way kind of thing. And we've got to take a stand. This is our state. This is our state. And if you are a tax-paying citizen, you have the right to demand that the people in this state get treated better than this. And I don't want anybody in my community, no one. I stand for all people in my community to be treated fairly. And if you go missing, I'll put posters out for you too. And I would demand the same justice that I'm demanding for Tyler Doyle. I would want that same justice for you or your family member too. And I want to see that across the entire United States. It shouldn't be just, well, this is how we do it over here, or this is how we do it in the South where the old boys club is. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. We'll just turn the other cheek and just pretend like, no, that's not, no, we're past that. We're past that. And that's why Tyler needs an army. Amber Ray Johnston needs an army. Jaden Carpenter needs an army out in Tennessee. We have to stand strong with these missing families because, y'all, they don't have law enforcement always on their side. They need people to stand along with them because, y'all, this road is hard and it's arduous, and sometimes it takes years to get the justice that they deserve. And when they see you guys here supporting them, and they see that you're praying for them and that you're lifting them up and that you're saying positive things and that you want their loved one to get the justice that they deserve and that you're willing to make the phone calls, send the emails, sign the petitions, you guys have no idea how it lights a fire under them to say, we can do this. Look how many people are standing beside of us. Look how wonderful we have such a community across this great nation. It's not just here in South Carolina. I see people in here from North Carolina. I see people in here from Tennessee. I see people in here from out west. I see people in here from Texas. I see people in here from all across this United States and Arkansas. I mean, we got people from all over the United States in this chat right now that are here to support Tyler Doyle. That is amazing. Don't be afraid to use your voice. If you see something, say something. Y'all go tag Dateline. Y'all go send them an email. Tag, well, I don't know. I was going to say tag Nancy Grace, but then Arctic Fox might come in here and be like, don't tag Nancy Grace. I think I said that one time and Arctic said, no, don't tag Nancy Grace. But we can all use our voice. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel, if you have social media, don't be afraid to say, hey, I've got this person missing. You know, I have people reach out to me all the time. Hey, can you make me a missing flyer? Y'all, it's free. I don't make any money off of this. I know people think that I'm doing this for the money. Anybody who's a member here on my channel or that's a moderator, like, they know that I am literally in the upside down on what it costs me to make these videos and pay for all this streaming stuff, my Canva. I'm never going to make any money at doing this because that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I just want to help people. Really, that's all it's about. It's just a way for me to use my voice on this particular platform. And then I just share my videos out into, I'm a member of probably like 50 missing groups, and they share my videos that I make on missing people in tons of groups, you know. It's just a way to get their information out there so that people can learn more about these cases. So, I really appreciate you guys being here. Please don't forget to crush the like button. Please share this video out on your social media so we can get this information out there. And that way, if anybody wants to hear me read through this, they can. And again, I appreciate you all being here. And thank you to all the new members. I am just so ecstatic that I had so many wonderful members to join tonight. Like, y'all don't know, I'm smiling like ear to ear. I'm like, yay. I appreciate y'all so very much. So I am going to hop over here and I'm going to play my outro and send y'all on out of here. There's probably other YouTube live streams with other missing people that you need to catch up on. Or if you like some of the YouTube drama channels, I'm sure they're probably live about some stuff. So I hope you all have a wonderful and enjoyable weekend. I have some things that I have to take care of tomorrow, so I may not be around much. But if you need to reach out to me, just send me an email or get in touch with me on Facebook, and I'll try to answer your messages as soon as I can. Again, I have some personal family things that I have to attend to, and I appreciate everyone understanding that. So if you don't hear back from me immediately, it's just because I have a full plate right now. And again, I appreciate every single one of you for being here. God bless you all, and keep fighting for answers for this family, and keep fighting for Tyler Doyle. Thank you all so much.
Take on the night to reach the morning. Oh, oh, we'll write our names in blood and glory. Oh, 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 our hearts are unafraid of making our own fate, and we don't need to wait. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes, fighting our courage climbing. We'll never, never surrender. This is our battle. Won't stay in the shadows now. Living for tomorrow. We'll never, never surrender. Walking through fire will leave us stronger. Oh, oh, and we might grow tired, but not going under. No, no. Breaking all the chains. It's time to take our place. It's time to take our place. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes, fighting our courage climbing. We'll never, never surrender. This is our battle. Won't stay in the shadows now. Living for tomorrow. We'll never, never surrender. Breaking all the chains.